Welcome to the Cow Corporation's series of videos about software engineering. The topic of this video is casting from a string into a number. Before proceeding, make sure that you have already watched these other videos first. Our previous video discussed casting via formatted printing. The inverse of formatted printing is the scanf function, which parses a string based on the same kind of format patterns that were used by printf. Again, the %s pattern is for string data. The scanf function will ignore any leading white space in the string before the characters that do get parsed. Parsing stops when it encounters the first whitespace character, which is ignored along with any subsequent characters. scanf returns a count of how many variables have been parsed, which is 1 in this case. You can also stop the parsing once a certain number of characters have been consumed. Because the %s pattern uses whitespace to stop its parsing, it's not able to parse data where the desired data itself contains some whitespace. If you need to do that, then use this %c pattern, specifying exactly how many characters you want to consume. Be aware that this %c pattern does not append any null character to the end of the data it puts in your string variable. So you need to do that yourself. The %s pattern had automatically appended a null character to the end of its string results. If you don't specify the number of characters to the %c pattern, then it will default to parsing one single character. The inverse of formatted printing can cast from a C string into a numeric value. A %d pattern is for parsing an int. A %f pattern is for parsing a float. Again, these two % patterns only need to be separated by one space character in the pattern for their parsing to consume all the white space in the input string that's between these two numbers. And again, any extra characters after this second number will be silently ignored. If you only need to cast one number, then you can avoid the hassle of formatted printing's patterns. These functions cast from a traditional null-terminated C string into one single numeric value of some certain type. Unfortunately, f is used here for double instead of float. Again, any leading whitespace characters will be ignored. This strtof function parses and returns a floating point value from the input string, plus it sets an output pointer value to indicate where that parsing stopped, at the first character, which can't be used in writing a floating point. To cast from a standard string class into an integer value, use the stoi function. It returns the parsed integer, and it sets an output parameter to indicate where the parsing stopped, at the first character, which can't be used in writing an integer. That numeric base would have defaulted to 10 if it had been omitted. Other similar cast functions are STOUL, STOF, and STOD. These functions have wide Unicode alternatives.